You know I love this album because I even know when they just be talking.
Yes, I do too.
She said she will pin, girl. Mm-hmm. They also got that. What's my other one? Mirrorland. I know that album backwards and forwards.
The one
when that girl be like, "Let me get the speckle special."
Yes, I like my chicken fried hard.
Is y'all fries fish? You hesitated.
Right. She stood up. I'm like, woof. I was like, oh, we gonna fight, girl. Yeah, we gonna fight. She was in the bathroom putting up her pants. I love that damn skit. Don't ask me why.
All right. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tales podcast. I'm your host, Rod. Joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on a Monday, ready to do some podcasting. Find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. We read them live on the air on Saturday. If you want to listen to the show live, someone just asked me on social media, like, hey, is Crowdcast the only place y'all go live? Yes, that's all my computer can do. But yeah, go to
right now. That's all the computer can do. We can't do simultaneously. It might melt down.
We don't got engineers and shit. And I don't even know what to do if YouTube decides not to cooperate or something, right? But yeah. Anyway, check out our show and leave us those 5-star reviews. The official weapon of the show is
phone chair,
and the unofficial sport
bullet ball.
And bullet ball extreme.
Yeah, you can watch the finished show on YouTube, but the live show is not gonna be live on YouTube.
Do you have any banter?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I think I have some, but I didn't write it down, so we just gonna skip right into the show.
Okay,
and honestly, like, I was gonna talk about Trump and the 34 convictions on the felony, but I kind of already told you I was right about that, and I did gloat about how I was right about that on yesterday's show. And I really don't have much more detail to add other than, I said that's what was going to happen. But I have another thing I was right about. And I definitely want to celebrate being right about that, because I definitely told you motherfuckers yesterday what it was going to be.
What happened?
A goddamn race war happened today.
That's right. Yep.
It sure did.
That's right. That's right. Yep. That's right. That's right.
They had the weekend to get their thoughts together. Monday morning, they was like,
Karen talked all through my sound effect. Go ahead.
My bad. Monday morning, it was like, bing, bing. And they had the whole weekend off to get all their thoughts together.
I literally said, I can't wait for Monday morning because y'all going to see what the fuck I'm talking about. And Lord, if I wasn't fucking right, dog. Oh my God. I was so right.
I've been right about all of it. We've been right about all of it. Wow. Yes. Yes.
So, listen, I've been watching. I've been keeping my motherfucking, ear to the ground on this one. And I know when a race war is afoot. Okay.
Yes.
I can sniff it out. I've been watching sports too long and loving being a race nerd too long in my life to not know the signs. And a lot of these motherfuckers was not paying attention to the signs. And that's why I was very particular about my words and how I was phrasing everything and being exact in my language about even watching the WNBA, even watching Caitlin Clark being like, hey, I'm watching because I like basketball, but also there's a race war afoot, and many of you are a part of it.
Yes.
You don't want to acknowledge it because most people in a race war never. It's like how people go, the Civil War wasn't about race; it wasn't about slavery, and you're like, because you a part of it. You don't want to say, yeah, it was about slaves, right? Y'all lost or whatever, But my point being, no one wants to say it's a race. It was brother against brother over what?
Over what?
Right. So this has become a race war by proxy, which is like sports as the proxy for race is as old as baseball, as American as apple pie. Like, just, it's the basis for all of the Olympics. To me is just nationalism, race by proxy. It's the reason black people watch the Olympics. And if motherfucking Trinidad is winning, if Nigeria is winning, if Mozambique, whoever, It don't matter if it's fucking shot put. It don't matter if it's shuffleboard. We will quickly be like, oh, the black people play there. I remember at Game Theory, man, we had the World Cup was happening, and everybody was going for whoever ended up eventually winning, Messi and his team. But I watched one match, and France had black people at every position. And I said, I'm rooting for them. And they were like, but it's an imperialist nation. I said, them niggas, they not the imperialists.
They are not.
They got imperialized, and they just happen to be the best athletes in their country.
They got imperialized.
And I don't know if y'all understand how the dream team works, but I'm used to that. I'm never like, man, America, imperialist. When I see Carmelo Anthony out there, I see a black dude.
Right.
So race is by proxy of sports, my point. So this Caitlin Clark thing has been that the whole time. And no one wants to admit they're complicit. No one, because that's another part. I think an honest dialogue on all parts would actually squash all this. I just don't expect anyone to be capable of having it because everyone's trying to save face.
Right. Take points and all that shit. Yeah.
Like, I think if people were honest and said like, hey, I really wasn't interested in women's basketball or the WNBA or women's college basketball for that matter. I wasn't that interested in it until Caitlin Clark came along, and even with the excellence of Dawn Staley this whole time, and people before her, Gino Auriemma, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on Pat's last name from Tennessee, but Pat Summitt, yeah, like even with all that, I recognize their excellence. I knew who the ballers were. So I saw that they went to the WNBA, but it wasn't until Caitlin Clark that I said, I'm watching it. It's appointment viewing. And why was it Caitlin Clark? Because the race war 1.0, when LSU beat her last year.
Yes.
And no one wants to come and be clean and say that's really what it was for them. And what happens in the race war, which happens all the time, people get introduced to the other side in very abrupt ways that they didn't even think about. Everyone's siloed up, right? So the white folks and I don't mean just like racist white people. I mean just well-meaning, corn-fed white people from middle America that just didn't even know about this shit. Them white motherfuckers was like, this the greatest basketball player I've ever seen. She's getting all the records. She's phenomenal. I can't believe how good she is. And they never even thought that much about these other teams. And of course, when LSU comes in there and whoops that ass, and it flexes on her the way she flexes on other people with her trash talk
the whole season.
Those white people and JL Covan lost their fucking minds because they was like, it was only supposed to go. It was fine when it was one way.
Right. There was like the audacity.
Yeah. And for me, that's when I'm like, ooh, we got us a game. You know, like,
right. This is sports.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. Take a shot. And so the other part of it is you also had a ton of black sports fans who had watched, matter of fact, you know what? I said that wrong. The original race war didn't start with Angel Reese. That's wrong. The original race war started a game earlier when she beat South Carolina.
Okay. Yes, I'm with you with that.
Because then motherfuckers was like, she ain't even that good. And I'm like, that's so y'all don't even know how it is as a competitor. That's such disrespect to Dawn Staley and those girls. She beat her. Caitlin and them beat that team. It is what it is. No one saw it coming. That's why they played a game. And to me, I said, I got to give her credit that she balled the fuck out. And I didn't think what she did was possible, period. And when they met again the next year, I didn't think it was possible again. Like, it's not like I became like the Caitlin Clark is the greatest person. I became she's a baller. But that don't mean that she, she can overcome everything, right? Anyway. So yeah, that's when it really started. Because black people that really hadn't paid that much attention and had been thinking
Dawn Staley, no.
Well, not just that, but they had been thinking when they play that white girl, she gonna go down like all the other people that have gotten their ass whooped by Dawn Staley and that juggernaut. And she somehow survived, and we went, oh, well, who the fuck is this? So is she for real? and there's a lot of resentment and stuff, and it is racial. And then it becomes the next week. Not only does Angel beat, or the next game, not only does Angel beat, Angel and LSU beat Iowa, she starts on her, and then now we got the outrage flop in the race war, and it's just been a race war ever since. The rematches, race war. Caitlin Clark beating LSU to me was a big deal because I was like, I mean, that's payback for last year. Mm-hmm. The GOATs go out there and get that W. And then when it was like, and then she got to play South Carolina, I said, ooh, that's different. The revenge is on South Carolina side.
Yeah, it is. And Don was like, hey, why did we lose? Okay, we're going to fix all them problems.
Yeah, I didn't see any way they could win that game, period. And so our media, of course, has never been prepared to talk about this because the main problem with the media covering it, because they cover a lot of stuff sensationalistically and bad, but I think the main problem is that you can't really talk about race. ESPN got rid of almost every single talking head they had that was good at talking about nuanced discussions with race. They stopped being on your TV. Now you only have, no offense to the people that's still on there, but you pretty much either have panderers, and I mean that in not just in the panderers and in the like they pander into white supremacy. I mean, no, panderers that like basically whatever Black Twitter is talking about is what they go on there and say, but it's not well thought out or defended. And it's always like to the most extreme. So it's just not really that fun. Or you have the people that obviously are conservative and they hint at their conservatism, but they never go into any detail. But you know, Stephen A. Smith will flirt with the conservative shit, but never go into any true, like, I am standing with Republicans or whatever. But it's always like, hint, conservative point. And then you have the neutrals, which is the vast majority of people at this point. Even some of the people that are much more smart and pronounced on things like race and gender, they just know it's best to stay neutral,
right,
to keep the job. And I'm not even knocking them for that. But a race war brings it out. It's hard to sit back and listen to somebody be wrong as fuck with these ignorant opinions. And it's one thing for Stephen A. to be ignorant on the Dallas Cowboys or some football shit or not know who's on what team or whatever, you know, that's one thing. But when it comes to race ignorant, gender ignorance, which he's had a few times, I mean, he got suspended once for talking about the Ray Rice thing in a way that was like, you know, don't be trying to fight no man.
Right.
You know, I still remember we got to Malika Andrews over the whole, the coach of Boston, Ime Udoka, and being like, you need to tell us here, we need to know the woman's name too, you know, like that kind of shit. Like he's not necessarily very good on gender issues in a way that doesn't cause controversy constantly. Sports controversy, I think, you know, if he thinks Kobe's better than LeBron on a Tuesday, there's people annoyed by it, but that's what he does, you know? Bringing that to a serious topic. So yeah, that's why we got the race war. And it started with obviously First Take. Stephen A. is talking about Caitlin Clark here, and he's about to give his, you know, y'all need to give her y'all need to stop being jealous of her. Was basically what he said, was that there was resentment to her that was causing this. Let me see if I can find the, it doesn't take you to the link. Okay, let's see. Maybe this will do it. Wait, 20 minutes. What?
It's the truth, Shannon. I'm very, very proud of you, Mr. Holly.
All right, we're skipping all this.
Got a little tan going.
You gotta do his, you know, I love your suit shit that they do, which is also one of my favorite parts, to be honest. And now the sound I want to play.
Okay. How about both, Shannon?
Shannon coming from the West Coast, and I'm in New York, so we got you covered everywhere. Hi, guys.
Oh, I have this introduction. I just, matter of fact, you know, let me pause it. Let me just go ahead and go straight to Twitter, because
they clip out just what you want. You don't have to. Yeah, you ain't worried about them.
Well, he basically starts with this whole thing of like, y'all are jealous of Caitlin Clark, and that's basically all these Black women are jealous, you know. And that's what we're really watching is jealous black women, come at Caitlin Clark. Let's see here. And that's not good. That's not right. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sorry, trying to find it.
Because good.
No, this keeps sending. Oh, I'll just read the quotes in my Stephen A. Smith voice. There we go. Close enough. So he says, there are girls. Sorry. I keep wanting to add, like, listen, I know the WNBA. They very nice to me. They, we go way back. Okay, I call Cheryl Swoops several times a day. But he said, but however, anyway, there are girls, young ladies in the WNBA who are jealous of Caitlin Clark. She is a white girl that has come into the league. She has bust onto the scene. She hasn't proven herself yet. It's not even about them thinking they're better than her, because they probably know it's this particular junction, because they've been playing on a level she just arrived to. Where the resentment comes in is the hard work, the commitment, the dedication, the pounding of the pavement, the being on the grind, all of these years trying to uplift this brand that is the WNBA and is the women's professional basketball. And all of their efforts were in vain until this girl comes along and takes the league by storm, takes the sport by storm in college, and has accomplished in a short period of time what they haven't been able to. One would think that the folks will be smart enough to recognize and appreciate that about Caitlin Clark, piggybacking off of that to their benefit, and praise her and support her while competing on the court against her, trying to take her out. So
that's what he said.
Yeah, it's very Missy ain't, it was given what he be given sometimes with his I know he's a business first guy, company man, and that feels a little company-ish, like the company would benefit from us uplifting this white girl and challenging her in no way at all, and just letting her run the league. And then the story is, look how easily she ran the league. I want to watch her defeat these black girls every day. But that was when Monica McNutt, who was on the show, and I hope we'll be able to be on the show again. Because, Stephen A, a lot of times when he gets a little bit of pushback, he's not always good at that. Like, I don't know if Malika Andrews has been back on that show since they had it out.
Somebody put the clip in the chat.
Well, I just did my Stephen A, Karen. What the fuck that now? It's too late.
I'm sorry. I
did it perfect.
I want to hear her side.
Monica McNutt?
Yes.
I have that.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Lord Jesus.
Act like we ain't done no 2000 something shows.
No, you the producer now. You got it. But yeah, so Monica McNutt goes on there, and she kind of gives them the business, and this went viral too.
We're talking about them maximizing their great potential. And because we bring that up and talk about what potentially might get in their way, which we do to men all the time, now we got to sit up here and watch every syllable. I resent that, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, so let me, I know we got to go to break. Welcome to the world of being a woman, Stephen A., and how you have to dance about your word choice, and you have to please everybody and anybody as you navigate your being. We are talking about the world's greatest
How about being a black man?
Being black. Hold on 1 second. Have you... So this is what I'm saying to y'all, though, and I know we got to go to break, and we didn't necessarily go there, and maybe we should. There are so...
That how about being a black man thing is something I talk about all the time on here. And black men and white women have this in common. We share one part of our marginalization with black women. But we also share one part of our privilege with white men. And many times we will use our hardship to push out when we are being harmful towards somebody else. So it's like the criticism comes in like, hey, not even criticism. Hey, it is tough being a black woman. Whoa, what about being a black man? This ain't about you. No one said it's not tough on you, but you don't know what it's like to be a black woman. That's just a fact. So maybe let her finish her sentence and tell you how that's germane to the rest of her point. But he got so defensive, which he always does. He got so defensive immediately that it's like, bruh, you just listen.
About the world's greatest.
How about being a black man?
Being black. Hold on 1 second. Have you? So this is what I'm saying to y'all though, and I know we got to go to break.
Shannon trying to hop in there too, which as much as Shannon misses the mark on racial discussions on Club Shay Shay, why he would even feel the need to hop in this joint is crazy to me. Like, just let Stephen A get ate up. Let Monica finish your food. You fine. Don't move. The T-Rex in Jurassic Park is outside. Just you stay still and let your man hit 8.
And we didn't necessarily go there. Maybe we should. There are so many layers in this conversation around the way that it's being discussed. No. And yes, Shannon, I know y'all are going to say and Stephen A, I know you just shared that you have talked about the WNBA on your program too. You guys may not have said everybody, but the prevailing sentiment for folks that are just joining the WNBA and following women's sports is unfair to the women of this league, to your point, who have laid the groundwork for Caitlin Clark to come in and now take it to the next level. That's all I'm saying in these conversations. Kennedy Carter's behavior is not indicative of the entire league. We are still talking about competition where you are allowed to get a little extra elbow in if you are competing and you do it within the parameters of the game. The game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm at.
All right.
Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talk about women's sports more than First Take?
Stephen A, respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Right. His face is cracked.
Right.
And Shannon finally, I guess he got the memo, like, if I stop moving, the T-Rex won't eat me. Because he straight up, and look at Molly's face. Molly is like, oh, she said it. Like, Molly is going into, like, how do we get to commercial mode, like, as fast as possible? And this ended up being, like, the A and B block, meaning, like, there was 40 minutes of conversation on this, on a topic that these motherfuckers do not do that for the WNBA at no point until now.
That was our whole point.
Y'all ain't never gave 40 minutes to start the W coverage on the A block on a Monday with WNBA. That's like what y'all do with the Cowboys. That's what y'all do with the NFL. That's what y'all do with some NBA playoffs or something, like a scandal. Y'all don't give that time to the WNBA. And no one was knocking you for it until you started going with your ham-fisted, uninformed opinions that are designed to get more of a click or attention in the flattening of your discussions where very little nuance. No one was coming for you until you threw that in. If y'all would have just said, hey, this is what happened in this game on the weekend, and like, yo, Kennedy Carter went too far.
She did.
And, but hey, maybe even talked about the basketball of it, but instead it turns into this scolding of black women who, let's be honest, that's what people are looking at in the WNBA, even though
there's a bunch of
badass white women that play ball too.
Be balling.
The first screen I saw that knocked Caitlin to the ground was a white lady, by the way.
Took her ass
out. But the point being, like, the scolding of, like, y'all sisters about to fuck up y'all money, that is something you weren't doing.
And it's insulting.
It's very insulting. And it's been interesting to be a person that does live in nuance, that does try to be fair to everybody. It's been interesting to be part of this conversation, because watching online, there is a gaslighting effect on both sides. Because matter of fact, I'll pull it up later. I'll read it out on my phone later. But I do have something to bring up about Caitlin Clark that's extremely important.
Wow.
All right, we gotta go. You guys.
So did you say
you're my guy, but
who does more than
Stephen,
us?
I'm talking to you.
Wow.
Don't do that. I'm talking to you about the power that you have.
Okay.
I'm talking to you.
Okay.
It's,
Okay.
It's
All right, let's
I got
You
it.
my guy, but
I
I'm
got
talking
it.
to you.
I got it.
guys. I really appreciate
you my girl, but you've missed a lot of episodes of First Take. You missed a lot.
Stephen A.,
Guys.
3 years
I'll
ago,
leave
you
it
were
at
not
that.
talking about the
Go
W
ahead,
at this
Mom.
level. Don't do that.
Guys.
Nobody
I
was, Monica.
guys,
You making Stephen A. point, Monica. Monica, you
gentlemen,
making
please
Stephen
let
A.
me do my
point.
job. Please let me do my job. We've gone for 40 minutes straight. It was a riveting discussion. I have to get in the commercial break.
So Molly got them up out of there because it was getting bad. But what's funny is Stephen A. and Shannon will go, see, you're making the point. We're covering this because Caitlin Clark, to which she's saying that's making her point. Y'all are only now covering this because of Caitlin Clark, and you're not bringing a level of nuance, sophistication, and expertise that you would to something else. Now, I guess the good part of the news here is because I look, these brothers been embarrassing. I'm just straight up, like, I've been on social media. A lot of it feels like Twitter is taking control of the conversation, and the media is not going to dig us out with nuanced, smart takes and shit. It's just going to be more of Twitter tone stuff, but it's making TV now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's multiple RG3, there's multiple brothers making these points. Now, to black men's credit, there's a lot of brothers pushing back too, and they're not getting the love and respect of like, hey, these brothers get it. These brothers, like, and they're athletes too. It's, you know, I think I've seen like they're going back at their fellow brethren, like quote tweeting RG3, and it's like Greg Anthony or somebody, or you know, Nick Van Exel being like, nah, this is just sports.
This is sports.
When I think Van Exel said, man, when I came in the league as a rookie and Gary Payton pushed me across the court, none of you niggas was talking about no, be easy on them.
Right.
So like a lot of brothers are 100% on the right page, and I don't want this to turn into like all black men are that way, because it's not. It's really not. But it is embarrassing seeing the brothers that are so outspokenly wrong about this shit, and just doing the Missy Ann, you know, we got to protect her at all cost bullshit. I hate it. I hate it.
Getting beat up is a part of the process, particularly being a rookie, just because it's just a big difference.
But I'm so thankful for Pat McAfee, because it was starting to look like the brothers was alone in the ignorance.
Okay.
And it was just gonna be the brothers making us look bad.
You're talking about plain as simple as Elmer's glue was fucking up.
Pat McAfee is an interesting person I'll go into in a second, but one of the things I don't like about Pat McAfee, and I'm not a person that's a Pat McAfee hater at all, and I think he does some good, like he makes some good points about like media spin and stuff like that. But I think he has a very cynical approach to when he will discuss things like race and politics. And he likes to make fun of the idea of discussing them as if he doesn't facilitate the discussions on the show when he wants to. So it's like, oh, all this woke shit, ha ha. And, you know, or, you know, we're not talking about, we'll just have Aaron Rodgers on to do it. And then Aaron Rodgers gives a clearly conservative, MAGA, Republican, QAnon point of view every week, and he just acts like that's not happening.
Right.
You know, when he brings up race, he normally avoids race like the plague. He normally stays out of race discussions, except to point out like something funny that is happening to the aggrieved white people or something like that. Then he'll bring it up. And it's just better if he just stays out, because he didn't read the books. He doesn't have the rigor for it, and he doesn't want to have the nuance or have those kind of discussions on his show. So why even delve into it as a joke when you know this ain't your lane? So he tried to do this thing, and I hadn't watched the whole thing. I heard it was good though, until this part. But he does this thing where he tries to break down like the basketball of the WNBA and Caitlin Clark and her numbers and how she's actually really good. But people don't really know that because they're looking at the just like, oh, look at the turnovers, or she ain't having 40, or look at this percentage. And he's pointing out like, no, but of course he undoes that in this clip.
The GOAT. Is she what? I don't know.
And the game they're playing is like Guess That Rookie or something like that. And I think he was comparing Caitlin Clark's stats to the women you're watching on screen, like Terasi and Ionescu. And what I think it's Ionescu, but what you'll find out is if you look at the advanced metrics, Caitlin Clark's stats are on par with all these people that went on to become great WNBA players, which is something that many people are denying, or they're new. And also a lot of people don't want to admit they're kind of new to looking at the WNBA this way, or they're an old school fan, but they're getting caught up in the race war. So they can't even admit this girl can ball or has the potential to be good. So they just start with like, yeah, she's going to be terrible. And then it's like, well, if you look at her stats when she first came in the game compared to all these other people that went on to be great, they're very on par, you know, and a lot of them got like some level of rough treatment when they got to the league, especially the guards, because, yeah, you're playing against the best. Anyway, back to this.
With my eyes, I couldn't see if she's Caucasian
Very well.
or not. So I think what we're trying to say is what the WNBA currently has is what we like to describe as a cash cow. There is a superstar. And we're not saying that the players on the court need to act any differently. That's the athletes are going to do what athletes are going to do in any sport. And I think we're all learning that WNBA, that's old school football, baby.
Yeah, dog.
That is old school football. But I would like the media people that continue to say, this rookie class, this rookie class, this rookie class. Nah, just call it for what it is. There's one white bitch for the Indiana team who is a
live on ESPN. Karen, can you describe the 5 people in this room? Anything they got in common?
They all men.
They're all men. So you got 5 men who are fans of Caitlin Clark, by the way. Like they claim to support her. Now, I think it's a tongue-in-cheek thing that McAfee's been doing a little bit with this, like, we're going all in on the Indiana fever and all this shit because she is white. And I think this is one of the things I don't like about him is I think rather than to overtly come out and say that, it's like, ha, race. But to me, when you decide to jump in and out of the fray, says a lot about you. Meaning that when there's some racial topic coming up within a league, he ain't nowhere to be found.
Oh, he don't never touch it.
Anytime it's something of substance, it ain't in him.
Mm-mm.
Now, Aaron Rodgers wants to come on, make fun of the vaccines and liberals and Dr. Fauci, come on through. But whenever it's like some serious hard hitting, like you got to be in the trenches with black people, he ain't fitting to be there.
Mm-mm.
And I would be fine with that if you just don't have dumbass moments like this where you're calling this woman a bitch on national TV,
right?
Trying to be edgy and controversial and undercutting your entire point about how, hey, it's not about the talking head, the media spin. It shouldn't be about just race. It should just be about ball. Well, you're participating in it.
One white bitch for the Indiana team who is a superstar. And is it because she stayed in Iowa, put an entire state on her back, took a program from nothing to a multiple year success story? Is it because she would go on to break the entire points records in the history of the NCAA, not just the women's record by Kelsey Plum, shout out, but also Pistol Pete Maravich's, the dude's record as well? Is there a chance that people just enjoy watching her play basketball because how electrifying she is, what she did, what she stood for, how she went about going, what she went for? Maybe. But instead, we have to hear people say that we only like her because she's white. And she's the only popular because the rest of the rookie class is doing what they're doing. Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. And we think the WNBA, more specifically, their refs need to stop trying to screw her over at every single turn. What you have is somebody special. And we're lucky she's here in Indiana. And that was, guess which WNBA rookie?
Yeah, and like, I understand the point he's trying to make, but I just feel like you undercut all that shit with the bitch stuff. You don't sound like you're like that, and I don't know how many times it's gonna happen, but if you are a fan of Caitlin Clark, I don't know how you think you're doing her any fucking favors with these defenses.
Mm-mm.
These are some of the worst defenses I've ever heard anyone give. It's all just hot takey bullshit that she would never say about herself. She doesn't even say that shit, you know, like, and I'm gonna go in a second about some of her detractors, but she don't even talk like this. She talks shit on the court. She get knocked down. She get up. You know, they did Chippy. They talk shit. You know, it's happening. It doesn't, you know, it's a lie when people say it's happening every game and all the time, but it's not like foreign to people.
Right.
You know, I also, because I don't ever get tired of being right. I also have to point out I was right because this morning when I saw the Monica McNutt Stephen A. Smith exchange, I said he's gonna go on this podcast and do an angry podcast tonight.
That's right. Yep. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yep. That's right. Yeah. That's right. What was that again? Oh yeah. Rod was right. Rod was right.
Because they actually didn't finish the conversation because she's not there to rebut anything you're talking about now.
Yeah, and his description, why I'm pissed off. Me, Monica McNutt, Caitlin Clark, Kennedy, Jason Kidd interview more. Newest episode, Stephen A. Smith Show, goes live right now. Holla at your boy. I added the last part. But this point being like, yeah, I knew he was going to do this shit because that's what he do. He not going to ever say, and I was wrong, or she made a good point, I could have did more. Or, you know what, maybe I need to cool my jets and that take wasn't the best take. No, it's got to be everyone's fucking fault. And it's always going to end up being about how personally offended he is. Because Lord forbid his feelings get hurt. He say a lot of stuff he says is the truth in harsh ways about other people all the fucking time. Could take him years to apologize if he ever apologizes. Often talks about how he don't care about people's feelings getting hurt. But when it's his feelings, oh Lord, the world got to motherfucking stop. So I predicted that shit. The Pat McAfee thing I think is so interesting because I think the idea that the refs are doing Caitlin Clark wrong feels like you're in a bit of a silo. Because I wouldn't necessarily describe her getting any worse treatment than other players. I don't know if he broke this part down. Matter of fact, let me even do myself a favor and pull up this whole thread because I think it's so it's something I haven't heard anybody else bring up. So there's this guy, Michael Vopel. He's a writer for ESPN and he works on women's college basketball, WNBA, volleyball. Been covering sports since 1984. Okay.
Decades.
Right. So there's something important here that I think has gone missing. And it's something that I think I've seen with my eyes. And just because I'm not being biased, it's easy to do. And because I've watched enough basketball in my life and a decent amount of WNBA, not enough to be an expert like this guy, but they are defending Caitlin Clark different. And he just went and had the numbers for it. And this was what I was waiting on. I retweeted the shit out of this because I said so when people do the nothing different is happening to her, she just need to lift weights, they're part of the gaslighting too. Because they're just pretending like, no, everyone gets flagrant fouled or everyone gets, no, it's not everyone. No, it's not all the time. When it happened to Angel, it was also abnormal. It wasn't just every game somebody gets slammed by their neck. Angel is much better at media and just rolled with it. And she's also a big, so that helps. But my point being like, it's not like when that happened, everybody was like, yep, nothing to see. I did see people mad about it. I did see people talking about she hating on Angel because Angel come into da-da-da. But it's not as many people as with Caitlin, right? Caitlin's got a lot more people that are fans of hers, right? So Michael Vopel puts, the WNBA defenses are doing what makes sense versus a rookie point guard with so much responsibility for offense. They're blitzing Caitlin Clark. She was blitzed 57 times on ball screens, which is more than any other WNBA team, let alone any other player.
More than a team?
Yes.
Oh yeah, everybody's strategy is to be on her ass.
This is kind of like what I'll finish reading it, but it reminded me to make my Steph Curry point. Thursday, she was blitzed 18 times by Seattle, more than twice what any other player has faced in a game this season. Again, it's expected. Smart strategy. Despite this pressure, she's still averaging 17.6 points, 6.6 assists. Great numbers for a veteran point guard, let alone a rookie. She's also averaging 5.7 turnovers, but considering she's facing so much defensive attention and adjustment to speed, strength, experience of WNBA defenders, turnovers are not unexpected. Clark knew this was coming, and she's adjusting both physically and with her decision making. And that's one of those plays that I've seen them put in, and they're gonna have to put more. But the plays now where she comes out because remember, they don't have 2 weeks to really be together.
Right.
The plays now where she comes out the screen, they know the double team is going to come hard on her. They're going to trap, and they're also going to come over the screen. Like they're not going to go under the screen, leaving her open for a three.
Right.
They are now doing a pin down play where there's a big cutting back door, and they're getting layups off of it.
Yes.
And they weren't doing that at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
you know,
she's been eating them up. She pass it and easy layup. Yeah.
And it's an easier pass. It's less risky for a turnover.
Moving more
and it's
without
giving
the ball too.
And it's giving you a bucket. You know, it's giving you a layup for somebody that's normally wide open in the paint. Those are the kind of things I remember saying when everybody's like, so you think she's just gonna come in the league? I said, no, Iowa had 3 years to build an offense around her.
Correct.
Indiana's gonna if she's gonna be one of them ones, Indiana's gonna have to build a lot of the offense to her benefit because that's how it works. What I was gonna say about Steph Curry is this is like when people say that argument, well, if Steph Curry played in the 90s, he wouldn't be good. And I'm like, he'd be good. But this is with the officiating of the 90s and the defense they were allowed to play. This is what it would look like for Steph when he got there. Steph lucked out in coming into the league at the time he did, and also he got injured.
Yeah.
So like we didn't have these couple years of struggle for him because it took a while for the league to even realize, oh, he's actually going to be quite the threat for a minute. But the way they constructed that offense around his skills, so that it's just all like they basically run him off like a shooting guard. And that takes a while to build up that kind of stamina to do that. But the point being, like, basketball wise, there's stuff that if Caitlin's going to be successful, Indiana Fever is going to have to learn to do. It's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, finally, Clark and Indiana Fever are adjusting to this. WNBA defenses are very sophisticated and challenging. Clark will be all the better going forward. Ask any rookie in any sport who is the focus of the opponent's game plans. It makes them stronger. Period. That's all I've been saying. I don't want to be lumped in with these caping ass niggas because I'm not caping. I'm just giving facts as I see them. She has a chance to be really fucking good. This is just part of it. They're already treating her like she's good. They're not even making her prove she's good, in which, like with many rookies, they'll come in and there's like a learning curve, but the teams are like, let them shoot. Like, let's find out if this motherfucker, and it's like, oh, okay. Well, now that you've shown you can hit those shots, we're going to come over picks. We're going to double team. We're going to trap. That's what they treated her like that day one, more so than any other player in the league. So when she is asked about, the physicality and the aggressiveness of the defense, and she goes, yeah, I do feel like I'm getting it more. And people go, oh, look at this whiny complaining. No, she's right. She is technically getting the most pressure of any WNBA player in the league right now. Those are just the facts. So, like I said, the gaslighting comes from both sides on this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then I wanted to play another thing too. Oh wait, it's on my phone. But my girl Chanae went in too, and because she been waiting all day. Like, this is the best part about the race war, is like everybody sees First Take. So Chanae don't got her show not till like 3-4 in the afternoon. So she was looking at Monica basically like, tag me in, sis. We doing this?
Yes, we doing this.
And black men and Pat McAfee have acted an ass about this. I think if you're a brother listening, you think I'm being too hard on the brothers right now, I really need you to stop and think. Who else had these opinions that weren't black dudes? None of the women except Martina Navratilova, and we know she's a hater that hated on Venus and Serena, who did the same thing that for tennis that they're hoping possibly might happen from Caitlin Clark. Except Serena and Venus did that shit, and she was hating every step of the motherfucking way.
Right.
So her defending Caitlin Clark, in addition to being hypocritical, is not helping. But yeah, so this is Chanae discussing it on I think it's NBA Today is what it's called. All right, then. Just take your time then. All right. Let me try refreshing.
Spin.
Yeah.
And I have, go ahead.
So this.
What were you going to say?
I about to say, I have been really enjoying seeing more women analysts. I've really, I'm not trying to make funny with the height of the WNBA. You've literally, I've seen more women analysts that you did not trying to be funny than you've seen in forever because of this.
Karen, they were already analysts on ESPN. I have to give ESPN some credit here. These women were already on, they were doing NBA and WNBA for the last at least 2 to 3 years. Monica McNutt, Janae's had this job. Like, this is not new that these women are here, but this is why it's important that these women are here, because the brothers let us down, honestly. And these women are former athletes. Some people actually thought Janae was going to play this season. But anyway, different story. But these are like people that have experience in the league. So they're not just coming out of nowhere like they don't know what they're talking about. And it is their expertise that should be leading the way. These brothers should just be fucking listening right now. There's no need to try to talk over them or talk, who done more for these women? Shut the fuck up, dog. It's just, she's telling you, if a player, the way that Stephen A shows so much deference to athletes on his, when they're men, it's all this like, now look, brother, I'm not Shannon Sharp, you done this, that, and the other. It goes down all their accolades, and then he shows with a lot of temerity, this is how I disagree about this, but I understand I'm not the expert you are. That's what should have happened with Monica McNutt. It should have been, I don't know. I never played in WNBA. If you say this is what it is what it is.
Right. And when I was saying the women covering it, yeah, I know some of them have been there for a while, but I've been really enjoying whenever I watch the WNBA panel. It's about 99.99% of all women, and like that's the part that I like.
I'm only pointing out that it's not new. You're new to this.
Yes,
I just want to give them that credit.
Okay. Yes. I'm with you now.
It sounded a little bit like, and they went and got some women for this season or whatever. And I just want to make sure everybody listening, including you and me, they had these women.
Yes,
and they've been breaking down basketball and the WNBA for years. It's the dudes with these hot takes that are mostly new.
Yes, that's true. And and it's been funny when a lot of them been on the air with Dawn Staley, how she really been side-eyeing them going, y'all gonna be some coaches? They be looking like, nah, like because they know the game like so well.
This is my State of the Union WNBA edition. Let's start with the play. For those who may be new to this, the WNBA has always been a physical league, full of competitive fire and trash talk. And on the full sequence of that play, Caitlin was talking. And in this league, no one backs down to trash talk. Now, I have played with Kennedy Carter, and her choice to retaliate on a non-basketball play was literally foul and something that she has struggled with her entire career. That was not okay. But one player's approach is not indicative.
Now, I just would like to note, both women, Monica McNutt and now Janae, have both said that foul was over the top. It wasn't called for. It was a flagrant. Okay? Because I've seen people gas like that even. Like, it's just a flop. Or, no, Janae's Kennedy is known, like, she was out of the league. Like, she's known to be, like, she go hard. You know, sometimes she do stuff that's a little over the top, but that, like, admitting that is not giving up ground in the race war. And that's why I feel like a lot of people are, they just want to turn it into, Caitlin's a whiny white girl that's not good. And everything that's happening to her is just the same as everybody else. And y'all only care because she's white. And it's like, part of it's true that a lot of people only care because she's white. I think that's a fact. But she is getting more pressure than other players. Some of these fouls are rougher than they do other people. That's okay. That's what happens when you come into the league with a lot of hype. It's, you know, and the brothers, of course, are gaslighting the other way, where it's turning into all y'all jealous, petty black women. It's like, well, this is also competition. What league? And there's so many jealous, petty men in sports, and we just go, that's part of sports. We actually kind of like it.
Right.
Like, yeah, that defense took it personally. They're not going to let the rookie quarterback tell them, blah, blah, you know?
Of an entire league. All rookies, especially number one picks, I know what it's like, have been tested mentally, physically, emotionally, from Candace Parker to Sabrina Ionescu to Kelsey Plum to Skylar Diggins-Smith. And a few days ago, Alyssa Thomas was just ejected for a hard play on Angel Reese. Plays like this happen in sports, but now it's being used to further agendas that don't serve the game. So when it comes to women's athletes, there's this expectation that players in the heat of the game should constantly stop what they're doing and be appreciative of Caitlin. They should bow down instead of being the competitors that they are. These women are elite basketball players who are competitors, who show up and show out every night before the eyes were there on the game. We all know and we appreciate the unparalleled amount of growth and attention that Caitlin, I'm her biggest fan, is driving to help become the beacon of so much interest and engagement and viewership to this game.
That was the other thing I appreciated her saying, because I feel like that's become some type of signifier. Like all the people claiming to be her biggest fans have to be these weird, like, you know, Massa Clark ass dude. And it's like, nah, I'm a big fan of Caitlin Clark. I'm also not about to denigrate black women as if that somehow elevates her or is a way to support her.
Right.
Because if that's the case, then I'm out. I'm not doing that. So like, I appreciate her saying that, because I feel like people, it's like the biggest thing you're not supposed to say. I just loved everything about this. Sorry.
But that narrative, that actually does a disservice to her, because the ones who grind through that type of grind become beasts. This is not hate. This is hoops, like any other sport that is professional at the highest level. And I hope people truly get to understand that.
I love her.
Yeah, she's a former athlete too, right?
Yeah. She literally could be in the WNBA now if she wanted to. I think she got the motherfucking ESPN checks, and then she ain't got to get no elbows to the face and shit. She was like, I'm good.
Right.
Also, right before we went on the air, I saw this on Twitter, the Chicago Tribune. They from the editorial board, Caitlin Clark's main privilege is one of talent. She must not be allowed to become a target for rule breakers. And they didn't put their names on this. They just put editorial board.
I wonder why you didn't put your name on it. Speak it with your chest in.
Someone sent me, I'll show y'all the pictures, guys, because you're probably guessing what they look like. They sent me the pictures of the Chicago Tribune editorial board.
Right. I mean, somebody on this board wrote this shit.
Just the fact that they all put their names on it, or their pictures on it, is like, sure. It's no privilege at all. It's just it's a race war. And I called it from day one. And I'm glad I never backed down off of the shit, because come on, man, it's clearly what this is.
Mm-hmm.
This is not basketball anymore. This ain't sports anymore. We're not having, it's at this point, I'd even say it's not even a proxy for a race war. It's just a race war. And as usual, the motherfuckers that's on the wrong side of it is lining up on the wrong side again. You know, and it's a goddamn shame to see Enamel Ocho and Stephen A and Shannon and RG3 and all these, you know, well, Gilbert Arenas is always on the wrong side. But you know, like, I forget which former point guard that like was Crittenton or somebody, but they did a podcast and it was like, man, y'all gonna fuck up the money. Shut up. Like, if that's all you got to say, then stop watching. Because you ain't doing shit. You're bringing these dumb, weak ass opinions with no appreciation or respect for the women that play the game. And if you're not gonna bring none, then what's the point of watching? What are you learning? You know, so it's just been very disappointing to see like that as the you know, the impetus for the discussion. But I've talked a lot about it. Is there anything else that you wanted to add? Nope, nothing from Karen. I saw they did elevate that flagrant foul, the foul that when Angel threw the elbow to like a flagrant one. And that's the other thing too. The other reason I'm not with the people trying to pretend that nothing is happening is that y'all are taking the fun out of it for me. I like that some of them got a chip on their shoulder about Caitlin Clark. Like, yeah, when she got flagrantly fouled by Kennedy and Angel jumped off the bench and clapped and congratulated Kennedy, Angel don't like her or she don't like what she stand for, or whatever the fuck is happening. I don't know how many times we got to see them go at it before we go, oh, okay, they don't really fuck with each other. And when they were like, oh, she just flopped, man. Angel ain't do nothing. Man, Angel was big, and she hit her with that bow, and Kayla, she fell like a sack of flour. And it's just like, yeah, it's petty, and I like that in men's sports.
Yeah, they do it in men's sports all the time.
I like it in men's sports. Like, I don't, like, it's not like I root for the people that do it, but damn, man, it's a sport. Like, it's going to be some contact. It's going to be some chippiness. I don't think it's not like Draymond Green kicking people in the balls or trying to choke them. It's just like a hard foul because I don't like you. You know, okay, you said something to me up the court. Well, I'm going to fucking check your ass in the back. That's what it is. If you truly respect these women as competitors, you'll accept that and either revel in it or get the fuck away, because it's like you're not hemming and hawing like that on these other sports. Motherfuckers watching people lose their teeth in hockey and then want to come to this basketball thing and start, oh, my stars and garters, I've never seen a white lady treated so rudely by these angry, hostile blacks. Like, calm down. So it'll be all right. But, my God. All right. That's it for that. Anything else I want to talk about today? Guess we do a little bit of other stuff. Matter of fact, let me put some music in here so we can get this money, and then we'll come right back. Damn, somebody said Drake dropped a new song. I ain't heard it yet. Is it a diss to Kendrick? Because
is it gonna be sad? What's happening here?
Maybe if I was him, I'd just have moved on. There's no win left here.
Mm-mm.
You know, like it's like this, like when NBA players lose a game and then they do that thing where it's like he was so frustrated, he stayed after the bus left and shot jumpers in the empty gym. It's like, hey man, the game over. Them jumpers don't count.
Mm-mm.
Oh, he dropped some patois. It's not a diss. Okay, yeah, I'm not interested. Speaking of rap, Sexyy Red clarifies that she is not endorsing Donald Trump after MAGA hat backlash.
The fuck were you? What? I don't understand. Then don't gaslight me like I'm stupid. You had all the symbols up and then was like, I'm not endorsing him. The fuck.
Well, she's, been draped out in a lot of Americana and stuff. She recently dropped her album. And she has had the Make America Sexy Again hat thing for a while. Yeah, this is at the Dreamville Music Festival. She pulled this one out. And she said today, after everybody was like, hey, what the fuck? It's Sexyy Red for president, American flag. I'm my own candidate. I'm not endorsing anybody, period. Lip kiss emoji. But we also know she was on the radio saying on a podcast saying Donald Trump gave everybody, the hoods love Donald Trump because he gave everybody checks.
And we also know that she's the type of person, just from watching the things she do, I will do anything for attention. So I do not put anything past her. I just don't. I'm sorry. You had all the signs, all the symbols. So I'm crazy for going, I think you might support this dude.
Right. Also, she has said, matter of fact, I just play it for y'all.
I mean, I'm not knocking her.
Yeah, they support him in the hood. Cause at first, I don't think people was fucking with him, like they thought he was racist, saying little shit and against women. But once he started getting black people out of jail and giving people their free money, oh baby, we love Trump. We need him back in office.
Yeah, a little bit of free money goes a long way.
We need him back, cause baby, them checks.
Yeah.
Oh yes, them stimulus checks, Trump. We miss you.
That's like whoa.
So I don't know how it can't be clearer than other than you needed her to literally say, I endorse Donald Trump. Yeah, you support Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So it's just I've been surprised by the amount of support she's gotten from people that otherwise seem to not fuck with people that do stuff like that, and especially if it's like a dude. But also, it's not surprising because I feel like people's marginalization, if they can sync up with somebody, everyone's a little bit more forgiving of their people. And so there's been like very black women that are staunchly anti these coons that I've seen be like, well, I just like her. She just gotta get to the bag. She funny.
That get it sexy goes, but I can like that song and be like, yeah, dog, you wearing the uniform.
Yeah, I feel the same way I feel about many of these other rappers that I like I said, it's WNBA for me. I've always looked at these rappers, men or women, as entertainers, and many of them are terrible people or promote terrible things. And I've always just been like, yeah, I wouldn't listen to their advice, but I would listen to their song.
Right.
And she's on the list. She on my gym list and all that shit. But you ain't never caught me going up for her, because it's like, oh no, I can't go up for somebody who literally don't stand for nothing. If you just only stand for what will get you attention, I know many people think that's a talent, but I can't fuck with you because what will get you attention changes every day.
Yes, and what will get you attention sometimes means you cross more boundaries and more lines that I'm not willing to cross just to get that attention.
Mexico's bloodiest election in modern history is set to give first woman president.
Woof.
Yeah, this is a shocking thing to me. I had no idea, but they have had 37 candidates assassinated before the vote.
God damn.
37.
Woo.
37. Like, if you want someone to kill somebody, I would say they running for president if I was in Mexico. You know, like if a motherfucker did me wrong, I'd be like, well, candidate, and everybody's like, oh, clack, clack, clack. What do you say? I'm like, no, I'm not running. I'll just, I don't even vote. Nah, baby, I heard you running for president. That's your ass.
Right, and people over here bullshitting.
Nearly 100 million people are registered to vote to replace Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, and the reason he's the outgoing president is because you can't serve, I believe, 2 terms or something like that.
More than 2 or 2 times.
I think you can't even serve 2 in a row, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure.
So you serve once and you got to go and you come back again, but you can't do them.
I don't know about all that. You trying to make me come up with stuff that I don't have an answer to.
Oh,
and don't want to lie to anybody. But it was like basically like that. The president has to leave is the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
I don't know if it's after 1 or 2 terms.
Whatever it is, his time was up.
So my point being, and the reason I'm trying to put that point home is they have to have another president.
Okay. Yeah, they don't have a choice. We got to vote.
And motherfuckers is killing people. 37. That's a lot of people.
Yes, that is.
They also have recorded 828 non-lethal attacks on candidates during the election season.
Non-lethal? Which means they tried but failed?
Which is up from 749 since Monday.
Goddamn!
Meaning it was 750 on Monday. This was written on June 2nd, so this would have been basically almost a week later. It was 830, almost 830. But what is happening in Mexico?
Yeah, the laws and shit is real different over there. That's why I be looking at people like, y'all don't be fucking around over here when it comes fucking vote while you have the freedom to do it.
Oh my God. I forgot who won this morning. I was just like, is they gonna make it?
Right.
You gonna do the inauguration bulletproof in the Pope mobile, running around ducking and shit. You have to do a moving inauguration. Oh my God. All right. We've been talking for about an hour. Let's get into something else. How about we said we were gonna do short, so let's just go straight to guess the race. How about that?
Okay.
And that means I have to pull up the segment of guess the race music, and there it is.
What?
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
All right. Guess the race. You know what it is. Going around, find different articles. Guess the race people involved. Cops have arrested a man they say killed his 40-year-old roommate and then cut the victim up and stuffed his decapitated head and other body parts in a freezer in his Brooklyn apartment.
Oh, no.
The old Dahmer is what I call it. Sporting tattoos, reading Sophia over his right eye and Warner Brothers WB logo on his neck. Nicholas McGee playfully stuck his... I don't know. Just a fan. He liked Zack Snyder, which should have been a dead giveaway.
Right.
Nicholas McGee playfully stuck his tongue out at reporters as he was escorted from the 67th precinct. Detectives extradited him from Virginia, where he was in jail for identity theft, when they found the victim, Kalsheen Gelzer's remains inside of a taped up refrigerator in his apartment. His longtime girlfriend Heather Steins was still living in the apartment and was arrested too. Yeah, because you knew what was in the motherfucking. You knew what was in the fridge.
You shuffling toes when you're trying to get to the ice. You know something in there.
Yeah, it's like it's taped shut. Like even just a taped shut fridge is enough for me to be like, what the fuck's happening?
Nigga, if I go in there and I see body parts, I'm immediately leaving and calling the police on you.
Detectives charged McGee, also 45, with murder, robbery, concealment of a human corpse, and tampering with physical evidence. He was held without bail and faces a potential sentence of life behind bars. Gelzer had been couch surfing at McGee's apartment when the killing took place. Gelzer was a known drug dealer and registered sex offender convicted of sexually abusing a 12-year-old boy in 2004. So there's no good people in this article. McGee stabbed Gelzer in the back as he slept in the apartment after a dispute over drugs. The two struggled, and McGee stabbed Gelzer multiple times and beat him with a hammer before taking drugs from the dying man's pocket. Later, he used a saw and hammer to dismember the body before stashing in the refrigerator and freezer.
Nobody heard none of this in Brooklyn, New York. Y'all got paper walls.
It's New York. You just mind your business. Also, the walls are kind of thick in New York because you don't want to hear your neighbors because you got to be right next to them. McGee has long struggled with drug addiction and become estranged from his three daughters. Seeing them, a little of them since 2012, said Cheyenne McGee, the middle child of the three. She said Steins manipulated McGee with drugs and would pose as him in messages asking for money, all while refusing to let him hold down the job. So I think Stein was the girlfriend. Steins went as far as saying that McGee was dying of cancer and appealed for more cash. So they sound like some drug addicts. Steins is just an all-around liar. Everything she said was a lie. McGee's daughter believes Steins is partly responsible for the murder and that she may have been sleeping with Gelzer. Once I processed it, I was really upset. I blame Heather. She was doing something. He found out this other man was involved. He ended up just snapping and killing them. Another McGee's daughters did not want to be named. Also said Steins would pose as her father to ask for money. They called her an evil stepmother. All right, Karen, guess the race of the murderer. His name is Nicholas McGee.
Oh, white.
All right, Karen's going with white for Nicholas McGee. Oh, Jeffrey Dahmer light over there. The Jeffrey Dahmer zero. The serial killer white. The freezer serial killer white. He's not a serial killer from what we know. The freezer burned, dick in the freezer black. White as the crack they was on. Crazy white folks white. The correct answer is a lot of y'all are saying white, it seems. Netflix and chill in refrigerator white. Ha! Netflix and freeze. The correct answer is white. And a little bit of bonus points for Shay, who pointed out rightly that the victim was a brother. Kalsheen Gelzer. And that's the girlfriend there. So it just sounds like some drug shit.
Yep, all across the board.
My goodness. Be careful whose couch you stay on. All right, let's see what else we got. Homicide rap for hold on. Let me make sure I got the right one. Okay, yeah. Homicide rap for Tesla driver on autopilot. On autopilot? Tesla owner's been charged with vehicular homicide after his car traveling in autopilot mode slammed into a motorcyclist when he got distracted looking at his cell phone. And that's one of the reasons I'm not fucking with the autopilot. Not because it killed somebody. But because they're like, it's autopilot, but you still gotta pay attention. That's not autopilot.
That's not. You might as well drive it yourself. That means I still have to fucking pay attention.
That's driving.
Right. What's the difference between that and cruise control?
Right. Y'all niggas put cruise control on a car and was like, it's AI. No, it's not. It's killing people.
Right.
Police said that Carl Hunter, 56, was driving his Model S last Friday afternoon when the vehicle rear-ended a motorcycle. The collision killed Jeffrey Nissen, a 28-year-old construction worker who was on his way home. When cops arrived at the crash scene, the Tesla sedan was atop a motorcycle with a male rider laying next to the Tesla driver rear side. A GoPro camera that had been attached to Nissen's helmet was seized by police. During questioning, Hunter said he was driving home, looked down at his cell phone while the vehicle was rolling forward on autopilot. He was distracted by his phone. He said the next thing he knew, there was a bang. The vehicle lurched forward as it accelerated and collided with a motorcycle in front of him. Tesla became lodged on top of the motorcycle and was unable to be removed in time. While Hunter admitted to having a drink at lunch, police concluded there was not enough evidence to support a DUI, vehicular homicide charge. However, since he already copped to an inattentive driving while moving forward, putting trust in the machine to drive for him, he was arrested for vehicular homicide, disregard the safety of others.
Right. And my thing is, why would you have a vehicle like this when it can't recognize a motorcycle and stop? But yet you're telling me as a driver that I can get my ass behind this wheel and it's gonna drive itself. These are false statements. This is why I say they say all this bullshit about AI. We are decades maybe away from this shit being able to do it. You can't see a motorcycle.
Right.
The fuck out of here.
Hunter was freed from custody after posting $100,000 bond. He lives in a $1.6 million Snohomish home he purchased with his wife. All right, Karen, guess the race.
I am going to go white.
Karen's gonna go white on this one. Let's see what they think in the chat room. All right, I see you need a second.
Yes.
Whites drive Teslas. Is that a white car? Is that a white thing? I thought I saw LaMelo Ball had the Cybertruck the other day. Hope you don't. Well, shit, he's on. Anyway, Elon and his people are gonna get y'all killed. White can't afford a car. White as the Tesla was white and red. Now the correct answer is $1 million house. White. $1 million house. White. It is white. $1 million house. That's one. I ain't never been a saint, baby. That's him. He look like a Tesla driver. He like he got money too. He probably buy his way out of this.
Right. And
man,
like I said, like you said, it ain't self-starting. If I have to pay attention, just go ahead, put a cruise control on and charge me less. The fuck is this?
Yeah, I definitely do not. I would never trust one of these cars. I would never trust. I wouldn't trust no autopilot, nothing. Well, they're like, we're gonna make a Uber drive itself car. I'm like, nah, man. I'd rather drive the car than the fucking robot do it.
Right.
Like I've seen the errors. I can't get my fucking printer to work all the time.
Right.
The fuck?
The fucking reboot.
What the fuck? It's just it'll be in the middle. It's gonna just be like, oh, new firmware, and we're gonna drive off the side of the highway. Nah, man, I'm good.
I'm good on this one, y'all.
All right, Karen, you're 2 for 2. What? Oh wait, I mean, wait, that's not right. I mean this one.
How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Call them niggas. Just call them niggas.
It's time to get ready.
Gold chain, fried chicken, biscuit, monkey, eat, baboon, big guy, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball.
A Texas woman went on a cruise and left her children, an 8-year-old boy and a 6-year-old girl, home alone in the family's $3,600 a month apartment in Houston.
She went on a cruise.
Mm-hmm.
She left him and got on the boat.
Got on the boat. Karen, they 8 and 6. They can take care of themselves.
8.
Okay.
6.
It's some peanut butter in there.
Was that the second, third grade? Somewhere around in there?
I don't know. According to a criminal complaint, neighbors of Lakeisha Woods Williams 29, spotted her departing the luxury McKinley apartments with luggage and bags and never saw her return to the location. Not luggage and bags. That sounds like she made a production of leaving. Aware that children may have been left in the 21st floor apartment, 21st floor, which has a small balcony. What? Madam.
This is why I say everybody ain't meant to have kids. Some people don't need kids, y'all. I don't care what y'all say.
Cops who visited the complex discovered the 2 children in the apartment, which was in complete disarray and had trash, leftover food, and all over the unit, and reeked of urine.
You don't say. They 8 and 6.
Yeah, that could have been either the way it always was in there, or literally just what kids do left alone for 48 hours or whatever.
Surprised they ain't burn the place down. Kids do all types of bullshit.
The children told them that their mother had left them April 4th, so they found them 5 days later to go on vacation on a cruise, and they did not know when she would return. The boy used a phone to text his mother while she was vacationing, and cops found a webcam that she was allegedly using to watch and talk to the children while she was away. What? Come on now. You can't be. Come on now. You on the Ring camera. First of all, that's evidence of a crime. But you on the Ring camera like, no, don't put that down. You can't have crackers until 6. All right, I gotta go. The margarita tray is coming back around. Mama love you.
So when she bing, hey, how y'all doing? Why is the cops ma'am, can I speak to you? Why are you in my house?
Right. They said the boy used the phone. Okay, yeah. The children were examined by emergency service personnel, subsequently released to the custody of their aunt. When contacted by police, Williams
probably could have possibly watched them.
Probably was tired of watching them kids.
I bet you so.
Williams, who was uncooperative, refused to return to the residence, kept switching up her story of her whereabouts as well. After an April 12th court hearing, the judge ordered her, Williams, who was busted on a felony child abandonment count, locked up in lieu of $25,000 bail, citing the egregious nature of the offense and witness accounts that this is not the first time something like this has occurred. Oh,
so sound like whenever she can't get nobody to watch her children, she just abandoned them.
And this to me is different than because there's some stories I don't read on the show about child abandonment stuff, because it'll literally be like, this mom went in for an interview at McDonald's,
right,
left her child in the car, and everybody's like, what a terrible mom. I was like, that's just poverty and capitalism. Motherfucker going on a cruise. Come on now, that's different.
On the cruise,
you had choices.
You have kids, you have to kill your plans. I'm sorry to tell you. Sometimes you gotta be like, fuck it, I can't go.
Kill the plans or kill the kids. You always kill the plans. Don't let go, kill the kids.
Yes, kill the plans, not the kids.
According to a financial affidavit, Williams earned $6,000 monthly working full-time for a nursing service. She has lived for the last year in a 1,300 square foot apartment with 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. The complex features an outdoor pool, club room, library, fitness club, sports lounge, and private wine storage. All right, Karen, guess the race of Lakeisha Woods Williams.
Black.
Oh, Karen's going with black on this one. Okay. Let's see what they think in the chat room. Mama gotta have a life too, black.
Apparently mama does.
She was like, how Lakeisha getting her groove back? She should have afforded tickets for the kids too. Dark comedy, blackie, fuck them kids, black. Losing Isaiah for real, black. This is leaving Isaiah. Black. Everyone went black on this one. The correct answer is black. And I'm with you too, Lakita. I picked up on that right away at the end of the article. Them telling us how nice the apartment complex was felt like y'all doing this because she's black. Because y'all whole thing is like, and just because you see your black woman, don't act like she poor. She had plenty of luxuries in that apartment. She chose to leave them kids. I'm like, who wrote this? Chicago Tribune editorial board?
All right.
All right. It's time to go to our final thing, sword ratchetness. This has been a very fun episode. Appreciate y'all indulging my race war, race nerd, basketball stuff. This feels like my same way that my Drake Kendrick thing aligned. This Caitlin Clark is aligning into all the things I love about love critiquing in America. Sword wielding Utah man arrested for attacking churchgoers at a worship service. Utah police have arrested a man who entered a Catholic church during Sunday morning worship and reportedly attacked parishioners at random by punching them with his fist and striking them with a wooden sword.
Oh,
a wooden sword? What? That's how they do it in Utah.
Apparently so.
Chandler Grillone, 31, was arrested on Sunday morning after he started attacking people at the Cathedral of Madeleine in Salt Lake City. Grillone is facing 2 felony charges of aggravated assault, a felony charge of property damage below $5,000, a misdemeanor assault charge, a charge of disorderly conduct, and interfering with a police officer. According to a probable cause statement, Grillone entered the cathedral and allegedly struck 2 people with a wooden sword and then hit a third person with his fist, breaking the person's glasses.
Well, damn.
Damn, did I read this already? I don't know.
Maybe
they running together.
They blend together.
What did the person say? I bet you won't hit a man with glasses.
I bet I will.
His actions were deemed unprovoked, with probable cause statement noting that the alleged attacker was uncooperative, was taken into custody. He twisted away, refused to get in the police car. They braced his head and neck against the door, preventing him from being placed in the back. Oh, then he braced his head and neck against the door to prevent them from putting him in the back of the police car. And he was placed in the wrap for security. Yes, we definitely read this. The wrap,
Okay.
W-R-A-P. All right, let me go to the next one. I'm sorry.
Okay. I didn't know.
Sometimes it doesn't get rid of the ones I already did. All right, let's do a different one. Sword wielding motorist attacks and injures police officer in Kasarani. Police officer is currently recuperating in Mama Lucy Kibaki Hospital after being attacked by a sword-wielding motorist he had arrested and was escorting to the police station. The corporal was on duty at Marima Junction on Committee Road on Sunday, June 2nd morning when he spotted a motor vehicle making a U-turn and obstructing other road users. This prompted the officer to approach the vehicle to clear the road for the other users. However, when the driver saw the officer attempted to flee, he swerved and in a moment of miscalculation hit the curb and got stuck. As he struggled to remove the vehicle from the curb, the officer managed to enter the vehicle and instruct the driver to drive to the police station. Also, he was like low key, almost took him hostage. Like, hey, drive yourself to the police station. I'm gonna be in the back with this gun. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the cop didn't put him in his car. He got in their car and was like, drive.
Right.
Upon reaching the Quick Mart supermarket, the driver suddenly stopped, pulled a sword from under the seat. The officer jumped out the vehicle for his own safety. The driver followed him with blows and kicks. In the melee, the officer tripped and fell into a ditch, giving his assailant time to grab his mobile phone battery before taking off. The battery. The officer, who was rescued by members of the public, received first aid in the hospital and was transferred for further treatment. Meanwhile, an accomplice in the attack is in police custody as police intensify efforts to track down the driver, who is still at large.
Oh, damn.
That's a hell of a story.
Right?
Good grief. You got your ass kicked and it's in the papers.
Right.
Should have shot him. All right, y'all. That's it.
At least put him in your car.
All right, y'all. That's it. Thanks for listening. We'll be back. Till next time. I love you.
I love you too. Bye.